What is up, folks? Welcome back to the Supplement Copywriting channel. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing a specific type of mini VSL that I see working extremely well for a number of different ecom brands and helping them scale to 30K plus days. And it's called the Testimonial Mashup Mini VSL. Now, we've all seen UGC before. It's something that is not new, especially if you're in the ecom world. But there's a specific way that very smart ecom brands are taking their testimonials and their UGC content and structuring it to make a very strong sales argument and scaling using sometimes just strictly this style of testimonial mashup mini VSL. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down and explaining exactly what a testimonial mashup mini VSL is. We're going to be looking at exactly why it converts so well for so many of these brands and why it's different from typical UGC. And then lastly, make sure that you stick around for this. I'm going to be sharing 3 winning structures for testimonial mashup style mini VSLs that you can take and plug into your ecom brand to scale the products that you're selling online today. So let's go ahead and dive into our meat and potatoes of what we're covering. Now, UGC style mini VSLs are not new. They're something we've all seen a ton of, but there's a new style that a lot of people are using very successfully. And just as a quick story, I was recently chatting with a guy who's doing 30K plus per day with this one style of mini VSL. He runs a one-man show. He was actually doing 70K per day for a few months in a row earlier in the year, had some changes. Things dropped down to 30K. Now he is scaling his way back up to 70K days. And the only thing that he's using in his Facebook ads library is literally testimonial mashup VSLs from his customers and potentially some content creators. Every single one of his ads are 30 seconds on the short end that still do very well for him, all the way up to some that are around 4 minutes. And 99% of everything you see in his ads are all based on testimonials. But the really interesting thing is, he's not doing what a lot of people do with their UGC content and with their testimonials. He's not just jamming them together. He is structuring them in a very specific way so that it creates a very strong sales argument for his product and makes it that much more convincing. So we have the heavy emotional side of everything with this raw and authentic looking content. And then it's structured in a very specific way that makes a logical argument for why this product is better than alternatives and why people should go ahead and grab it. So, like I mentioned, he's not using UGC the way that we think of. He's using the testimonial mashup in his mini VSLs. So here's why these testimonial mashup mini VSLs are different and why they're working so well right now. So the biggest thing is it relies heavily on social proof and it feels raw and authentic. One of the things that we've seen in marketing recently is that the super over-the-top produced and polished mini VSLs can absolutely work for a number of brands, but I feel as though there is a noticeable shift towards ones that feel a little bit more raw and authentic and a little bit less polished. It feels more real to the people watching it. And so they rely on this heavy social proof. And because they don't use as much stock footage or content, it feels like it could realistically be somebody that is sharing their experience with the product, as opposed to when you're using a ton of stock footage and content, you're very clearly in an ad and you know it. Also, one of the things that I think is making these as effective as they are right now is that it targets that it worked for others, so maybe it'll work for me core emotion. So whenever we're looking at a testimonial marketing, whether it is written or video or a screenshot, what's typically happening for the average reader or person that's watching is they are likely seeing themselves in the person who's talking about where they were stuck and all the stuff that they tried. That is very relatable to that person. So to see that person who is stuck there go ahead and go through the adversity and find the solution and then deliver it back to them creates a deep emotional bond with that person. And they are able to actually visualize themselves being stuck where they are right now and getting on the other side to getting results. So it makes for a much deeper emotional bond with the reader, and it allows them to see themselves actually getting those results that they desire that they don't currently have. One of the other elements that makes the testimonial mashup really nice is that you can reuse existing UGC content from like 3 to 5 creators or 3 to 5 customers, whoever you use in your brand. So you don't have to go out and consistently resource a ton of new content from creators from customers, all those kinds of things. And you only need about 3 to 5 of them for each one of these ads that you want to run. So it just makes it really nice because you don't have to pay an arm and a leg and always be sourcing new creators or go back to a ton of customers and ask them to re-record content. You can reuse and repackage a lot of the existing UGC content and testimonials that you already have. And then the last part too is that they can be shorter. Some of the best performing ones are going to be 30 to 90 seconds and still work very well, which means you also don't need to have some crazy long script to be able to pump out a good amount of these to see which works. And because these are shorter, just like other mini VSLs that we've spoken about in previous videos, the thing that's nice about it is the name of the game is split testing and figuring out what works. So if you have a bunch of 30 to 90 second videos that you can create a few of per week and get them out and get them tested to see how they perform, it's just way easier because it doesn't require a super in-depth full-time editor. You don't need to have an A-list copywriter that's doing all this stuff. So from an overall perspective of just a little bit easier on the capital side and not needing to have super overly high skilled people to do this, this is a phenomenal way to do it, assuming that you can get the right content from different UGC creators or from customers that you use in the ads as well. So now that we've broken down kind of what the testimonial mashup mini VSL is and why it works so well, let's take a look at some of the winning structures you can take and use for your brand. So the very first one, I'm just calling it a blended traditional mini VSL because it is the same structure that I've broken down in previous videos. But the big difference here is that for each one of these bullets, you're just using a different creator. So, and you can use the same 3 to 5 creators and just cycle them through. So you could have one creator talking about the hook, a new creator talking about the introduction and the problem, then a new person talking about here's why nothing worked, essentially, talking about a little bit of the unique mechanism of the problem. Then you could have another creator talking about, but I found this out and it completely changed everything for me, talking about the unique mechanism of the solution. And you could literally just recycle through the same creators and have them cover this product is amazing, how to use and the benefits of the product. Right now it's on sale. Go ahead and click below. So you could recycle and use the same creators and just have them each tackle 2 sections in this. And this isn't a super in-depth, really hard to write style of mini VSL. It's pretty straightforward. And this is the structure that I use for most of them that I write for clients. All right. So then number 2 we have here is the amazing transformation mini VSL. So we're going to have our basic hook. We're going to introduce the product right away. And then we're going to have 3 different creators give a mini testimonial on the results or the benefits they got from it, something they loved. Then you're going to have another creator spliced in here that's going to talk about why it's so much better than the alternatives, the other things that they've tried previously. Then you can have a set of new creators if you would like. I'd recommend using the same 3, just make your life significantly easier. Talk about another set of benefits or results that they got from the product. Then hop into any kind of sale that you're running, a risk reversal, any kind of guarantee, 100-day money back, and then the call to action. So this one is really focused on the transformation, right? So we have the product intro, then we talk heavily about the different benefits and results that they got. We touch lightly on why it's better than the alternatives to prevent them from going and wanting to buy that. And then we hit them with 3 more testimonials that give them more benefits, more results that they get from it, and then basically closing out the mini VSL. All right. And then last but not least, we have the better than alternatives mini VSL. Super creative naming, I know. So first of all, it's going to be pretty much cut and dry, just like the second one that we went over. You're going to have one person do the hook. Then you're going to have another person introduce the product and talk about some kind of benefit that they got from it. Then from there, you're going to have 3 back-to-back testimonials that are talking about the benefits and the results that people got from this specific product. Then you're going to have a new creator come in and talk about their life before and after using the product. Then you're going to have another creator come in and talk about why it's better than the alternatives, the things that they didn't like about that, and why this works so much better. Then you're going to throw rocks at those alternatives. So you're going to find the weak points in the other alternatives that people would typically use, and you're going to highlight those weak points and why it won't get people results. That's how you're going to throw rocks at it. And again, for each one of these bullets throughout this you want it to be a new person that's talking. This is why it's called a testimonial mashup, is that all these people are kind of giving these micro testimonials along the way. And it's also leveraging one of the things that we've spoken about in previous videos, which is what makes a mini VSL really effective is kind of the quick cut element of it. So these don't need to be long. These can be, like I said, 30 to 90 seconds, but you want to have a new person that is coming in. And even if it's the same person that you used earlier in the mini VSL, just bring in a new person for each one of these bullet points so that you're constantly giving that person a little hit of dopamine by giving them somebody new. Then after you throw rocks at the alternatives, you're going to show people how simple and easy it is to use and the benefits. Then sale, any kind of risk reversal, and a basic call to action. So as you can see, these are really simple. They are very similar to the same way that other mini VSLs. It's quick cut. We're changing the graphics, we're changing the visuals and everything along those lines. But here we're just doing it with a lot of testimonials and UGC content structured in a very specific way that creates a very strong sales argument, and it feels more raw, it feels more authentic, and it feels a lot less polished than your average mini VSL that relies on a lot of like stock footage and stuff like that. So I hope this helps. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you have any questions about mini VSLs, advertorials, hybrid pages, anything for your own ecom brand, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'm very good about coming in and answering questions in a timely fashion. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.